Hey everybody, it is Tuesday and it is also election day. As you can tell, I have already voted and I am also wearing this really awesome Vote Vader shirt that was really cool. So hopefully those who could vote did vote, and if you didn't vote, well, it's probably too late by the time you are finished watching this, but we'll just ignore that. Yeah. But for anybody who is interested in seeing any opinions about the election, here on YouTube, there are actually a couple channels who are going to be having live shows of them talking about the election, talking about the voting, and giving their final thoughts. So really check that out and see how it goes. I'll be probably watching SourceFed, so I will probably be watching SourceFed, but there's also people like the Young Turks and a couple other people on YouTube that are going to be doing that. Or you can watch the Geek Art channel and just put it on replay for all the playlists. Brought it back to the geeks. So this video really isn't going to have any specific order. It's probably just going to be me talking about stuff along with addressing the other geeks. But the main things that I will address right now: Steph, feel better. It sucks being sick, so feel better. You tried, and that's all we can ask for. So you were trying, and feel better. I'll be praying for you to get better. For your answer, Wooho, I will probably have to say my Ash costume. Not the girlish one from last week. I like that one too, but I think my actual Ash cosplay that I've had. Considering that I've never really gone trick-or-treating that much when I was a kid, this was probably the only costume I actually used for Halloween, so I really did enjoy that. Many great memories with that costume, so that's probably my favorite. So as Mario mentioned, Disney last week just bought Lucasfilms, aka the Star Wars franchise. My thoughts on it? Meh. Now, biasly, I'm not gonna lie, I am a huge Disney fan, probably more than an average person should. But with that being said, call it biased if you will, but I honestly really don't have too much of an opinion on this, really. I mean, from a business standpoint, this would make more sense for George Lucas to have gone in this direction, seeing as how they sell a lot of the Star Wars merchandise, and if he went to someone else, it would kind of make things a little bit more complicated. It would kind of just make sense to give it to somebody else if he wasn't planning on making anything. So yeah, meh, I don't know, I really don't have an opinion. But I'm gonna be honest, the only thing I don't like about this is all of the complaining and whining and I will take your word and say reasonably that the first three movies were really bad, but because I probably really didn't have a problem with the movies, and that's probably just because it came out when I was like really young, and I don't know, and that's what got me into the other movies as well. Yeah, I don't have a big problem with it, and I've never understood why it was so horrible, but it's done. But it's basically done, so George Lucas will not be in charge of it. He will just be a creative consultant, and that is all I can say. There have been different forums and threads that have talked about about if they could get like Joss Whedon or Christopher Nolan on it, and I'm kind of like, that would be really awesome, but I'm not too sure that's gonna happen. But we'll see. I'm just tired of hearing about George Lucas. I'm also tired of hearing about Jar Jar Binks. And staying on a Disney topic, like Steph, I did watch Wreck-It Ralph. I actually saw it with my parents, because everybody else I knew saw it without me. But I watched it, and it was fantastic. It was great. By the way, Steph, I was thinking the exact same thing when I saw Sugar Rush, and I was like, that'd be so awesome to cosplay one of the characters for one of the racers. So yeah, awesome. Jane Lynch, who also was the voice of the Sergeant from Hero's Duty in Wreck-It Ralph last week, she was on the Ellen Show, and she actually had the costume for her character. So yeah, I'll put a link to that, and it's really cool. And I've always loved Jane Lynch. So yeah, check that out. The short animated feature was beautiful. I loved it. It was funny. It was awesome. I loved the style. It kind of had like a 2D style, but then like a 3D animation thing to it. So it was really good. And it just reminds me of how stoked I am for Rise of the Guardians that comes out in like 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, I'm so happy to see that movie. I'm like so excited to see that movie. Which, by the way, is anyone else excited to see it, and not just because Jack Frost is in it? I remember when the first trailer came out for it, and I was like super excited, and then everybody, and of course when I tell everybody, they're like, Rise of the Guardians, is that owl movie? So yeah, I'm kind of thinking everyone else is going to see it because of Jack Frost, but yeah, I'm really excited. Which, by the way, Pixar, what are you doing? But hopefully I'm not the only one who says this when I say that I've always biasly just had Pixar at that very high standard level that no other company can meet. Even when How to Train Your Dragon came out, and I was super stoked for that, and I watched that movie like a billion different times, and even with the detail and how obsessed I was with it, I still kept Pixar on that level. And it's not that they're going down, but it's kind of like these other studios are catching up. You know, it's like, I don't know. And then Wreck-It Ralph just like killed it. It really did. Inner turmoil right now. I guess with that being said, I'm kind of done here, I guess. Before saying anything else, however, I was actually in a podcast video with Deadpoolzilla. I'll put a link below to that. And check out his channel. Very awesome guy. Deadpoolzilla. Hi! So I'll put a link to that below. But also stay tuned for the rest of the geeks this week. But give the like button some love and subscribe to the channel. And happy voting, everybody.